on guys, Joshua is here, and what's Sonic player's worst nightmare? Is it a water level? Is it another adaptation of Greenhouse Zone? Is it? This question has been lingering since my last bathroom break, about 30 seconds ago, but I researched the internet for a painful 30 minutes, and I figured it out. Sonic players are most scared of... terrifying. Sonic the Hedgehog CD. I like this game. Its amazing music, mechanics, and story always stuck out to me, and seeing other people talk about it has told me they either love it or you absolutely hate it. There's no in between. What side am I on? Well, I love it. My first time playing it was via the mobile version on the iPad and later Sonic Origins. Sonic CD is the only classic Sonic game I haven't played the original hardware, and by original hardware, I mean ports or emulation. Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Sonic & Knuckles I played ports on the Sonic Mega Collection, and since Sonic CD is on Mega Collection and the Xbox version is a remake, Sonic CD, I can't play the original version because I don't want to play the original version anyway. This game can be pretty cool at times, but very fun at others. I like this game. There isn't really good balancing. Sure, the final zone is the hardest zone and the first zone is the easiest. Some zones I find easy compared to the ones that came before it though. People have pointed out that some of the zones in Sonic CD are very similar to the ones in Sonic 1. So, right off the bat, we got those two games are similar. But you know what Sonic CD has in Sonic 1 doesn't? An opening and closing movie, amazing music, a cool gimmick, bullshit. This is the best Sonic game of all time! Get it? Time? I should probably stop goofing around and really talk about the games. So, this is Sonic CD. Story-wise, by just playing the game from point A to point B, it's almost similar to Sonic 1's. Sonic is trying to take over a location, and Sonic must stop him. But if you read about the story, it gets a much bigger picture. Dr. Robotnik has changed an entire planet to the ground, and that's so unique. I wonder if he'll do that 17 years later. Oh, joy! The planet is called Little Planet, and has these mysterious time stones that manipulate time itself. Because of these time stones, Little Planet has time-traveling properties, which allow Dr. Robotnik to travel to the past, pop down a few robot generators, and create a horrible, bad future for the planet. It's Sonic's job to go to the past of each act and destroy these generators to create a good future. There is a pink hedgehog named Amy Rose, who has a mad crush on Sonic, but unfortunately for her, Sonic doesn't love her back. The manual for Sonic Advance 3 calls her Sonic's self-professed girlfriend that he can't seem to escape from. Amy in this game looks different than her modern version, since, like Sonic and Tails, this is her classic design. And before she was given her signature hammer, meaning she can't really defend herself, so ends up getting kidnapped by Metal Sonic, Dr. Robotnik's greatest creation, who's found to be a perfect match to Sonic in every way, and is the best rival for Sonic. Now, other Shadow fans watching will probably want to kill me for saying that, but if you're mad, you can leave a comment and I'll be sure to not read it. So, planet changed to the ground by evil man. The stones that have time-traveling abilities cause the planet to allow you to time travel. Plus, robotic versions of Sonic mixed together, and that's the little thing I like to call Sonic CD. Now the stages. After the amazing intro, we have Palm Tree Panic Zone, a Green Hill Zone wannabe. A very generic stage, but the cute little gimmick that shows up once, and you're looking at it. My brother played a demo of Sonic CD on the Xbox, and it only had Palm Tree Panic Act 1, so he's fond of this stage. There really isn't much to say other than it's ridiculous easy to time travel. Pass a sign with the words past or future on it, and run like hell, you can travel to the past or future. You mainly want to travel to the past to destroy robot generators in Act 1 and 2. If you do, you get the good future. There are also these Metal Sonic projectors that you don't need to destroy, since all it does is make a bunch of animals jump around in the foreground. In order to get the good end in the game, you have to go to the past at every Act 1 and 2 and destroy these generators. Or you can do the special stages, but we'll talk about that later. I gotta say, the bad future of this zone is really cool. It is what the planet would look like if we keep littering and polluting. The good feature of each zone is the same as the present and past, but with different color palette and level design. The most notable is that all the badniks are gone, so it's really easy to get 50 rings in the special stage. The boss is this, and he has bumpers to bounce you backwards. so it's harder to hit him. Or you can just walk behind him and beat him that way. This zone took me 18 seconds. Punchy Panic is a very generic zone, so here we move on to Collision Chaos Zone, where Sonic meets Amy Rose for the second time. The first time is Punchy Panic Act 1. Well, that was short-lived. Collision Chaos is like Spring Yard Zone. It's incredibly obvious with this section. It's probably the easiest stage to time travel in, since it has these areas where you can bounce around repeatedly. I can't figure out the theme. Sonic Retro says it's a casino theme, and I don't agree. I've heard a fellow YouTuber that one of Sonic CD's problems is that levels don't look like real places. Collision Chaos is really bland to me. Like, what is this? Abstract themed zones are okay to me, as long as I have no damn clue what they're supposed to be. The boss is pretty clever. This pinball machine, you get up there, it's over. My issue with Collision Chaos is it doesn't use the bumper sound for Sonic 1 and 2. Next is Tidal Tempest Zone, and it's a direct ripoff of Labyrinth Zone. So you think that I would like this zone because I love Labyrinth Zone, but it's okay. It's not meh, it's just okay. It's not cool, it's not pretty good, it's not amazing. Tidal Tempest isn't bad, it's just okay. I think it's the music that ruins it for me. No matter how bad the level design is, if the music is fire, I'm gonna like it. Tidal Tempest's theme can be defined as underwhelming. I also don't like how the drowning music isn't here. There's just some beeps. What I do like is the idea for every zone after this. Sonic Retro says the good future for Tidal Tempest is like an aquarium. And that fits it because it has like fish and stuff. The boss is once again creative. It has a bubble shield, and no, I'm not talking about that bubble shield. I'm talking about this bubble shield. It's a literal bubble shield. Next is Quartz Quadrant, and it's the happy feeling zone, and the music is sublime. One of the best songs in Japanese soundtrack. Quartz Quadrant's idea isn't as creative as Tidal Tempest. Again, Sonic Retro says it's a quartz mine. The good future is one I often play when doing homework. The bad future sounds like something you'd hear from Fall Guys, and the past version sounds like Metallica madness. These conveyor belts slow you down or speed you up, and you hit a sign to either move forward or backwards. The boss is you running down Robotnik's pillar until the heat buildup causes him to burn his feet and run. Next is Wacky Workbench, my least favorite zone. The floor is like a trampoline and will bounce you up if you touch it. The idea is that the factory. The past version is under construction. The good future is a fun house. The bad future is everything went to hell. Once again, I can't figure out the theme, but the US version sounds like it's saying sugar plum, and that makes me think it's a tropical island when it really isn't. The boss uses the trampolines, and Robotnik gets stuck and runs away faster than Sonic does. Weird. Second from last is Stardust Speedway Zone, and it's not bad. It's not the first zone I'm going to jump to, probably because I can't jump to any of the zones. The design is confusing at first. I learned that these things will change what plane you're on, and it took me a while to figure that out. The present is a party. The past is an ancient temple, grassy looking place. The good future is a metropolis, and the bad future is a decrepit metropolis that has gone straight to hell. The boss is Metal Sonic, and unlike all the other bosses that normally are in a location they can't move from until the boss is dead, this is a race. And I love this boss since Robotnik would challenge Sonic in an endurance match, but Metal Sonic challenges Sonic's speed, which makes sense as Metal Sonic was designed to be a better version of Sonic. This also is one of the few songs from the US soundtrack I actually prefer. Robotnik has his death laser that will insta-kill you if you touch it, so be careful. Since Metal Sonic was built by Dr. Robotnik, he runs into a wall and dies because he's stupid. Instead of breaking over a container full of plants, you save Amy. Hey, Sonic, I don't think this is a good idea. The last is Metallica Madness Zone, and it's Scrap Brain Zone. This is definitely the hardest zone in the game. I mean, it should be the final zone and Robotnik's base. This is a mechanical nightmare, especially in Act 3. Each Act's level design is different and in a way that none of the other levels are. Act 1 is going from point A from point B, that's standard. Act 2 is a stupid f***ing maze. These pipes will send you to different places and some of them are just flat out dead ends. Halfway through, Sonic becomes small, and towards the end is the definition of the developer saying, "To you, player." Sonic games are always hold right to win, but here, if you go right, you end up earlier in the level. Act 3 is full of springs, bumpers, and rotating platforms with a door that will crush you over a bottomless pit. Ugh. This act, in particular, blows. The bottomless pit is annoying enough, but the room has 3 Hotarus. I had to research the name, and they are the bane of my existence. These things are only vulnerable when they're firing the laser. Meaning that if you jump into them in the wrong angle, you'll get hurt. And they're only vulnerable for it feels like half a second. The boss is the final boss, and it only has 4 hit points. It's not difficult. He's not vulnerable for most of the fight, especially when he has more of these things. But when he does come down, you can just damage boost your counter fast. But come on, who would do that? Who would damage boost every single time they hit him? Only a stupid idiot with nothing else better to do in life would do that. You'd have to have an IQ of 5 to do that. Back to series. After beating Robotnik's final fever, Sonic takes Amy back to the planet and runs off. If you get the bad ending, Robotnik gets the time stone, and even though Sonic snipes him with the rock as if he has an aimbot, Robotnik still has Little Planet under his control. Try again. If you get the good ending though, Little Planet explodes into a bunch of stars and Sonic's head and makes flowers bloom. You're too cool. To get the good ending, you need to find and smash every single robot generator in every act. The other way is getting the 7 time stones before Robotnik does, and let's talk about those things. The time stones are found in special stages, and just like the Chaos Emeralds in Sonic 2, 7 of them exist. You enter a special stage by carrying 50 or more rings to the end of an act and jumping into a big ring. I will gladly on these special stages because they suck more than mosquitoes dying of starvation. You are in a square area and your job is to destroy all the UFOs under a time limit. If you land in the water, your time plummets. Luckily, you do get these time UFOs spawning in once the clock gets to around 20 seconds. Sounds like an okay special stage, but then you take into considering 2 points that make me want to pull my hair out when playing. The UFO's hitbox is really small. Sometimes I jump into them, and even though I should have hit it, I missed apparently. So you have to jump a bit earlier than what I'd like. The second point really grinds my gears more than a clang clang. Around special stage 3 or 4, I can't remember, the UFOs will start avoiding you. That, combined with the wonky as all hell hitboxes, make me hate these stupid balloons with a red hot burning passion. Let's talk about something good, and that's the soundtrack. I can't stress this enough. It is Japanese soundtrack has songs on par or even better than songs from the modern Sonic games. Modern day Sonic games, I mean. The US soundtrack doesn't go as hard, but I do like the songs from it, like Stardust Speedway Bad Future. The Power Sneakers. My personal favorite, Sonic Boom. will say that even though I do like a handful of songs from the US soundtrack, the Japanese soundtrack has way better. I don't know why the US and Japanese soundtracks are super different, and I don't really want to know since I don't really care. And that's a little thing I like to call Sonic CD. The game is amazing, it runs well, it's an amazing soundtrack, and I like the zone ideas. But some of the levels make me want to lick a pole in a train station. The first stage is grueling. You barely get anything out of them. Maintaining your speed to time travel fast can be painful. The bosses are way too easy, wacky workbench, and in no version I've played you can revisit old levels after you've already beaten them. Remember when I said I liked this game?